Good morning. Hello, everyone. Please make sure that you can hear me. If you can't hear me, please let us know. My name is Sylvia. I'll be standing in for our moderator who has not been able to join us at the moment. And today this is our first episode of Digitalks. Digitalks is basically conversations in line with digital transformation, whereby we are joined by very able speakers who will be taking us today through content marketing and digital marketing. So I'm going to introduce our speakers for today and then let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves. And then we shall go on. So we have Sylvia. Sylvia, are you with us? Sylvia Kyalo, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Sylvia Kyalo is here.
Okay, Sylvia Kyalo is a digital marketing and communication specialist. She is the director of Derin Marketing Limited. And we have Ezekiel Olande. Ezekiel, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Ezekiel is a digital strategy and content marketing consultant. And we have Martin Degwa. Martin Degwa is representing our partners from Upotech. Martin, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Martin is an IT security specialist who will be taking us through cybersecurity aspect of content marketing. So today, I'll let our speakers introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what they do and the companies they represent. As we wait to see if our moderator will be joining. If he won't be joining, I'll be taking you through the webinar as the moderator. Welcome. We start with Sylvia Kyalo. Please, this is your stage. Welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. My namesake. My name is Sylvia Kyalo. I'm a communication specialist. I'm in marketing and real estate advertising. Short background about myself. I found myself in real estate, but I have a background in journalism. So somehow marketing came on board. So yeah, I've been trying to do the same, do the two of them. But my strength is more in real estate, but marketing is my baby because of a company that I own, which is called Derin Marketing, where we offer a wide range of marketing and branding solutions to offer our clients a 360-degree marketing approach. So some of the services we offer include website design, social media marketing, pay-per-click, email marketing, influencer, recruitment and management, among many others. So yeah, that's it about me as Sylvia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia, for the amazing intro. So we are I'm gonna invite Ezekiel Olande to tell us a little bit about himself.
Thank you, Sylvia. I think I should have started before Sylvia Kyalo. Now I'm wondering, what do I say? I'm Ezekiel Olande, digital strategist. I started out actually in ICT. For the longest time, that was my bread and butter. Then I happened upon, at that time it was just social media marketing, accidentally, and realized that I actually enjoyed it more. And with a tech background, it was easy to then just slide into digital marketing. So I've worked for a number of brands and organizations within the financial services, legal, NGOs. So I mostly create content for B2B audiences, but also I do B2C. So I'm an independent consultant. Currently, I consult for MasterCard Foundation, ISPAC, amongst other organizations, both on an ad hoc basis and on a retainer basis as well. So that is what I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ezekiel. That is an amazing introduction. Okay, we have Martin. Martin, kindly tell us about yourself.
Okay,
Sorry, if you can open your cameras, I think would be nice while you're doing your intros so that people can get to see you. But if you can't, it's fine. We can go on. Thank you.
my name is Martin Begwa. I work for Utech as a systems developer and IT security specialist. I have 3 years experience in the field of systems developing. I've worked for 3 years, and I believe that I have something I have to share in terms of IT security. So my topic today will be majorly on data security, putting in mind that the talk lies on content creation. So it will be wise for us to also consider security while creating content. So from my end, I don't have much. Maybe we'll get to talk more when I'll be able to present and just give you a brief on data security or IT security in content creation. So thank you. That's all from my Sylvia.
Thank you, Martin. So we will begin by defining what content marketing is. And according to Google, we see that content marketing strategy is a strategy that is used to attract, engage, and retain an audience by creating and sharing relevant articles, videos, podcasts, and other media. Okay, in the current world, we see that people have gotten really much into content creation and content marketing with so many platforms and emerging that enable people and different brands to be able to create content that they can actually share online and get to build a community and even generate sales. So we see that looking back to the beginning of content marketing, this is something that began way back in the 1980s, and we see that many companies, especially brands like Marvel and DC, used to create comics books that they used to create content like make their movies into characters and now market using content marketing in terms of comic books. We also see that content marketing, just like any other strategy in marketing, is something that needs to have a strategy, because you can't just create content and expect that content to be relevant. The content has to be in line with what you do, and it also has to be entertaining and educating. So today we are going to look at 4 aspects or 4 subtopics of content marketing in this free webinar. And I see that we've been joined by our moderator for the day. So I'm gonna let him have his stage back as we wait to hear from our speakers. Thank you so much for your time. Let me let our moderator for the day take over the moderation. Hi, Nalisi. Good morning.
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you for taking up on me.
You're welcome. So Nalisi, kindly introduce yourself and take your stage. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. So my name is Wilhard Donalisi. I'm been moderating today's events. I'm a digital marketing strategist as well an e-commerce manager. So we have 3 great speakers today that are going to take us through the topic today. We're talking about content is king, and we're going to look at also some of the subtopics that are going to guide us through. That is rules to writing customer-centric content, simple fixes that will make your content shine, how content and design work for user experience, that is UX, and as well cybersecurity in content creation. So allow me to share my screen so that it's easy to flow together.
Maybe we can
Great.
have our team from Upotech share from their side. Martin, are you able to do that?
Oh, yeah, I believe I can. So,
Okay, so that we can be able to proceed. Time is not really on our side. Thank you.
I think
Don, are you able maybe to do it from your end?
yes, yes. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, perfect. We can see.
Thank you. Thank you. We can see.
You can see my full screen.
Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Okay, so just in brief, I'll take 1 minute to just I guess Sylvia, you've taken them through a little bit about Digitox, but essentially Digitox is a
I
webinar
can't
series.
see the screen.
Okay.
Sorry, we can see it. I believe we can provide.
Can you see the full screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Thank you. We can see.
Okay, so I'll proceed. I think so I was talking about Digitox we're holding as Upotech, and DigiConnect, we are talking about Digitox, which is a webinar series where we get to invite amazing speakers to tackle various topics on digital and how it affects business models. So, and that's why today we are looking at how content is going to help you leverage or drive personalized engagement through your website, through social media marketing, and through your various forms of marketing to drive engagement online. So, and as we all know that marketing has become the hottest trend to maximize marketing strategies for businesses and brands online. That goes without saying, because it captures the desired audience attention, and also it makes your brand easier to interact with in today's digital marketing world. As I mentioned, today's topics will have 3 speakers. That is, we're talking about, we have Sylvia, and we have also Ezekiel and Martin, who is also going to take us through a little bit understanding of how cybersecurity is affecting our content and how we should be able to tailor our content in a way that is also secure for our brands and as well for the audience that we are also targeting. So those are key emerging topics that you need to look into in order to understand better practices when it comes to digital marketing. So a little bit of history when it comes to content marketing. Content marketing is used to attract, engage, and retain audience by creating and sharing relevant topics or videos. That is, could be podcasts, could be articles that you're talking about, your blog posts on your websites or on your blogging platforms or any other media platforms. And this, in the early 1980s, it was introduced where you're talking about the comic book heroes as a powerful form of content marketing. Brands like Marvel and DC created comics around action figures like Spider-Man and GI, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with. The content helped bring the toys to life for a generation of children and a form of powerful bond that still exists to this day, as evidenced by barrage of superhero movies. So I believe to most of us, content marketing is not a new term, especially right now when you're talking about even YouTube, we're talking about vlogging, we're talking about blogging and monetizing content to also make as a source of revenue. So this has become a word on the street because of the emerging trends. So I'll first invite my great speakers today, that is Sylvia Chalo, who is a digital marketing and communication specialist, I believe, and she's well versed with content marketing and 360 content marketing, and she's also the director for Derin Marketing Limited. And also having Ezekiel Olande, who is a digital strategist, and he's also well versed in digital marketing and strategies, and he also sharing us about content marketing. And then Martin will also take us through the cybersecurity aspect. So just quickly, because of time, I like to invite my first speaker, that is Sylvia. You just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll give you 10 minutes to take us through about content marketing and the various scopes that you think we should be all aware about when you're talking about content marketing in regards to digital marketing. So Sylvia, if you could unmute yourself and just take us a little bit through the topic.
Okay, thank you so much, Wilhad. Allow me to share a screen.
Okay, great. I think I'll stop sharing mine. There you go.
Just a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, and sorry, not yet.
Okay,
I
just a minute.
think you shared you have shared your desktop.
Okay.
So audience, remember you can also share your questions through the chat segment as we continue, so that at the end of our presentation, we'll also be able to look at some of your questions. As also the speakers speak, you can note some of your key areas that you need clarification.
Just a minute. Let me share it with Sylvia so that she can project it from her end.
Okay. Because of time, Ezekiel, if you're ready, I think I'll also give you time to start us off as Sylvia gets ready with her slides.
That's fine, Willard. I'd actually sent my slides, actually just one slide, but
Yeah.
Probably, so what I was going to talk about first is the tips that, for making your content stand out, or just to leverage on your content, to ensure that your content is actually on top, when you're doing your content. So I'll just continue, then hopefully, Sylvia, you can project, because unfortunately I'm using my phone, so I'm unable
Sylvia,
to.
have you got it?
I have Sylvia's presentation. Dawn, I think I sent you Ezekiel's presentation, so if you're able to project from your side. All right, or do we just wait for Sylvia's to start, or do I proceed? Proceed. Yeah, you can proceed. Okay. So the first thing that before you embark on content marketing, you need to do a bit of research. Okay.
research on what your targeted audience are interested in, because then you're able to focus your content from their perspective. Remember, content marketing shifts your perspective from inward outwards to outward in. And by that, I mean your main or your primary focus is on your client and prospective clients. So you want to look at content marketing from a perspective of what benefits is it going to be for your audience. Okay, so you need to conduct research. This is just simply done by either you can do benchmarking, see what your competitors are doing, and then try and see if you can benchmark against that. And when you look at your competitors, obviously you're looking at those who are winning already on content marketing. In this case, then you're able to narrow down, because if it's your competitor, then chances are that you're operating within the same space, and you are able to know what your audience require. After you do your research, then you create a strategy. As with everything in business, you need to have a strategy. And from strategy, so depending on the level of business, okay, if you're a solopreneur, then you're everything. If you're a B2B or B2G or B2C kind of organization, then you start from your overarching organization goals, because sometimes we find that we work in silos. Marketing is pulling on its side, product development is pulling on its side. We're working great, but we're not cohesive. So what is your organization mission and vision? What are your values? And then from there, what is your overarching marketing strategy? And then within marketing strategy, obviously now you get into digital marketing, where content marketing sits. So once you have cascaded downwards like that, then you're able then to create your strategy in a way that it aligns to organizational goals. So even when it comes to resource allocation, it's an easy conversation, because we are aligned as a business on what you need to do. And how do you get to do your strategy? So determine your brand story. I think that's always a very good place to start when you're thinking about content marketing strategy. So what is your brand there to do? How did it start? Where is it going? Storytelling is very powerful when you think about content marketing. So always consider starting from a storytelling kind of perspective. And then the second thing is now, you develop quality content. And I'll get back to that in a bit, but I'm just giving elements that go into your strategy. And then remember, in your strategy, you have to add value at each step. We find one of the reasons why sometimes people are hesitant to get into content marketing, you're trying to figure out where is the end goal. Okay, so you need to ensure that whatever content you're creating is leading your potential clients into your funnel, if I can put it like that. So you envision a funnel from the top all the way to the bottom, where you're hopefully converting your clients, because at the long run, this is, you're hoping that your content will then convert your clientele. So if you're thinking about social media, is it then leading someone to your blogs? And are your blogs leading to an email list? So, subscribe here so that people start enjoying your content. And then are they also leading to your website? Because if you're selling, if you're in e-commerce or whatever kind of business you're in, you want your content to always lead someone to a place where they are converted and make the purchase decision. All right. So you've done your research, you've created your strategy. Where is your audience and where are they consuming their content? Remember, when you're thinking about content marketing, you're trying to reach your audience where they already are. Okay, if your audience consume podcasts, for instance, if they consume videos, if they consume whatever kind of content they're consuming, where do they consume it from? And now I'm talking about your channels that you're going to use for your content. So always do back to research again. Know where your audience is. Know who your audience are, and you can do that simply by creating buyer personas. Again, sometimes it might feel a bit tedious creating a buyer or audience persona, but when you know, an audience persona just by definition is a semi-fictional character that best represents your client or your customer or your prospective customer. So once you are able to know who your prospective customer is or your customer currently is, you're then able to create content that will reach them at their stage of life. Then tied to that is selecting your distribution channels. And that just means, how is this content going to reach your intended audience? Remember, it's easier to reach me if I consume my content, let's say on social media, let's say on LinkedIn. If you're creating content that is going to reach me, then you're better off finding me where I am, as opposed to trying to get me somewhere else. Okay, so tied to audience persona is knowing how or where to reach your clientele or your prospective clientele. And this could be, a myriad of channels that are available to you. So you just ensure that you're able to reach your clientele where they're. Then you think about the format that you're going to use, and the format will also then tie back to the distribution channel. Okay, so your format is now, like I was talking about, so you have videos. If it's a video, then is it a long video? If it's a long video, are you going to put it on YouTube? If it's a short video clip, then Instagram works very well for you. If it's infographics, if it's what do you call these things? White paper or anything that is downloadable, then you want to push that to your website. And so you put a snippet, and LinkedIn does this very well. People advertise on LinkedIn and also Instagram. They do this very well. So that is the point at which you're going to capture your audience's emails, because obviously, they sign up. And remember, because of data protection and data privacy, you need to allow them to opt in to receive marketing information from you. But yes, so once you've selected the format, so then it will determine your channels. So you see how all of these things are tying into each other. Another tip that you need to consider is your branding, especially if you're, well, both B2B and B2C, you still need to be very clear on your branding. Have templates. It makes your work very easy when you have templates, because once you have consistency in branding, then people are able to identify your content, and it just makes it easier for people to consume your content. And that goes, branding is, again, it's a whole different animal, and I think maybe Sylvia will probably talk about that in a talk. But either way, you just ensure that your brand speaks for itself. So who you are on your website is, is similar to who you are on your socials. It's similar to every marketing effort that you're putting in place. Then that consistency comes out. Now, remember, social media, or when you're talking about content marketing, you want to have as much engagement as is possible, because that is now what shows you if you're actually meeting, your targets. So ensure that your content, or when you're generating your content, you are able to generate conversations as much as it's practical. It should always drive those conversations and engagement. And then promote. There's no point to creating amazing award-winning content and then it doesn't reach the intended people. All right, so always put some budget behind your content marketing, so that we are able to reach as many people as possible. And remember, the ads or whatever promotion mechanism you're using should complement your content marketing. So you don't put Google ad word and then that's it. The call to action should be very clear, and it should direct me to your website, for instance. It should direct me to your blog post to allow me to be able to make the action that you have generated there. And then one of the other tips before I pause is so quality over quantity. Okay, and that is why I'm talking about reuse. When you create quality content, then it becomes what is known in marketing as evergreen content. And evergreen, if you think about a tree whose leaves are forever green, it's always appealing to look at any time of the year, right? And that is how your content should be. When you create evergreen content, then you're able to reuse it over time. And when you reuse it after a specific duration of time, then it's even able to reach more people, because obviously your audience will have changed. If you're promoting the scope of your promotion will have also changed as well. So when you reuse your content, then it's able to reach more people, and it's able to continually generate a return on investment. So those are the tips that I would share for now for how to leverage content marketing. But before I let go, before I hand over, some of the challenges or the questions that I normally receive from people who are trying to get into content marketing is, when will it convert? Okay, so remember, content marketing is a long-term strategy. Do not get into content marketing today, spend X amount of dollars and expect that it's going to give you 3 or 10 times ROI. Okay, it's a long-term strategy, but when you do it right and are consistent, then the results will always speak for themselves. What Will I just shared about Marvel, this guy started donkey years ago, and you can now see where they are today. It wasn't overnight, and also when they were trying to capture new audiences as well. So have your strategy, but remember, it's minimum mid to long-term strategy. Willard, back to you.
Thank you so much, Ezekiel. I was almost cutting you off, but I think you haven't really exceeded much of the time. And thank you for sharing that those amazing tips on leveraging content marketing. I like how you put it. So simple and easy for everyone to grasp. So I think just a quick one before maybe we divert to Sylvia to take us through her presentation. I just have a quick question maybe, and also if you have anyone with a question, but of course we'll have another section for question, but I'm sure maybe someone has a burning question before we continue. You can raise your hand and then I'll give you an opportunity to ask. But if not, Ezekiel, I'll just like to know, how do we then measure the success of content marketing? Because every effort of every input has to be measured and see what is the success, so that you can also see the time we are investing or any resources you're investing. How do we measure the success? Just in a nutshell, how do you measure success of our content marketing when you're doing our marketing operations?
I think a quick one, and that's why I closed by saying this is a mid to long-term strategy. But when content marketing is done right, it builds trust, and it will convert your customers into your advocates. And this you've seen when people share your content without even your own participation, because when you have amazing content, it is very easy for that content. And I use viral here very loosely, but it's very easy for it to become viral content. And this just means that the quality and the usability, it makes sense to your customers. And then, they're able to share this content. And then the last thing is that, remember, when I was talking about strategy, your content should always lead to a call to action. And so that is where you're able to see, are we actually getting a return on our investment, either by capturing emails for our marketing list, or people are downloading our content, or people are actually being converted. Remember what I talked about, the funnel. Your content moved me from awareness into conversion. So always have your sales funnel at the back of your mind, and then the content is guiding me to conversion. So conversion rates will always give you that kind of way to measure when you're winning on your content marketing.
Great. I think you put it well. And I think if anyone has a question, then you can just note them, and then you'll also come back with the Q&A segment. Now, I also understand that content is king, but as well, engagement is queen. So the two have to tally for you to get great results when you're doing your marketing. So back to you, Sylvia, and just take us through a little bit about your presentation today.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel has been able to point out a number of things that I had also captured. But I'll skip the introduction because I've already introduced myself and the company. So jumping straight to my definition of now content marketing. So the one who's sharing the screen, maybe we can go to slide number 3. Thank you. So yeah, for me, content marketing is basically the process of creating, designing, and basically publishing your content to reach your audience and to increase brand awareness and loyalty. So in simple terms, for those who are trying to understand what is this content marketing, it's basically just making stuff, be it blogs, be it videos, be it podcasts, infographics, emails, visuals, and etc. So how to get started? It can tally for the B2B and B2C, depending on who is your consumer. So the first step you need to do is, we can move to the second slide. Yeah, so how do we get started? So first things first, you need to set the goals. And what you need to do, you need to look at what is it that you want to accomplish. Is it brand awareness? Is it disseminating customer loyalty, among many others? So number 2 is looking at the channels And like Ezekiel has said, you need maybe to create, is it a blog that you want to do? Will you want to just rely on the normal social media platforms that we have? Thirdly, it's now creating the content and publishing it consistently. And for content marketing, I tend to say that consistency is everything. Consistency is key. And last but not least is now measuring results. And like the question that had just been asked, how do you measure results? This can be done. Content marketing, it's a long-term strategy. So how do you measure result? It can happen in stages, maybe if there are inquiries, if your videos are being shared, if people are interacting with your content. With that, you can be able to know that this thing is working, or what do I need to change alongside the strategy? Yes, and a number of things. Moving on now to the main topic of content marketing to drive personalized engagement. For marketers, we all know, you can move the slide kindly. Yeah, so for marketers, we know that our job is basically to provide information to customers, which will help them influence in their buying journey in the long run. So buyers want to be independent, and they want unbiased material information to help them move in that journey of buying. So when you create your content, it's as part of your brand awareness strategy. Content you create or you share will be a lot of people's first touch point to your business. And speaking of this, before I jump into the rules, which was one of our subtopics, I'd love to touch on content marketing in terms of personal branding. And there's never been a better time than now to build a personal brand than in content marketing, because in content marketing is the consistent, actually strategic creation and creating of relevant, valuable content, which generally does not explicit or promote a brand. And for those who are into B2B, or you're a consultant and you're wondering, okay, what kind of content then do I need to create? One thing I'll keep on telling and advising people is that we all need to make Google our friends. Someone might be wondering, okay, fine, how do I set up a camera? How do I imagine? There's every information on the internet. So in as much as you need to make Google your friend, for me, I'll keep on saying, you can't be motivated to, one day you can wake up and you're like, okay, I need to create content for my business. As a content marketing strategist for a certain company, you wonder, okay, I want to come up with a content calendar. But research is very key. You need to know what your competitors are doing, what you can improve, and you can be motivated, but at the end of the day, discipline is very, very important. Moving on, you can check the slide down. So rules to create customer-centric content for marketing strategy. Number one, is creating content that adds value to the consumer journey. Keeping your customers engaged with storytelling, which is very important. Great content should solve your customer's problem. A mix of different types of content will appeal to everyone. So we need to know my audience, what kind of content do they relate with? Moving on, we need to make content super shareable for social media, because that is one of the best way to disseminate whatever we are creating. And also increasing engagement to inspire brand loyalty. And last but not least is to create a consistent consumer experience across all channels. So now that you've created the content, what are some of the ways we can use to ensure that our content really stands out? Number one is by setting a brand tone and keeping it consistent. Secondly, we need to know your content options, because there are different kinds of content, like I talked about before. Thirdly, we have having a detailed strategy, just like Ezekiel has mentioned. Fourthly, we have injecting personality into your content. And last but not least, you need to make your content to be very reader friendly. So yeah, that's what I had, but I believe we can answer more maybe from the questions that will be coming through. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Sylvia, I think you've taken actually less than 10 minutes, which is very okay. And I think we're also running out of time. Quick one.
I don't know if it's from my end, but I can't hear you now.
Oh, thank you. I was actually checking my connection. I thought it was me.
Recommended because you're talking about long content. You're talking about having a good view time, and also when that is when talking about vlogs. When you're talking about blogs, you're talking about also people spending more time on your blog sites. That is, if you have a long blogs. But then again, what are the demerits, or what are the sides of having also long content, or what will you recommend? Should people focus more on long content or short content that is, shooting to the point and that that drives more engagement? So just make us understand. I guess you understand my question.
Wilhad, was that question mine? Sorry, I lost you at some point.
Sorry, I'm asking. We have there is we have a lot of emerging vloggers. We have a lot of bloggers, and this is happening a lot. So what should people focus on in terms of long and short content? When you're looking at YouTube videos, you're looking at when you have long content, you're talking about having good view time. That is, people more time to like spending more time on your YouTube or your video sites to view whatever you're posting. When you're talking about blogs and articles, people are spending more time to read your content if you have long content. But then again, we understand that might also have some side effects, whereby also sometimes people don't want to take too much time because of when you have long content. So what will you recommend? Should people focus on short or long content?
I think your question is now clear, and I'll answer by saying we're really lucky in this day and time era. We have different kinds of platforms. We have TikTok, which consumes very short videos. We have YouTube that if you want to watch longer videos, you can go there. But right now I can also see they've also jumped into the short videos, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the rest. So first and foremost, you need to know where are your audience. If you're into corporate, I believe you'll jump into LinkedIn. And if you notice, the kind of content that goes on LinkedIn is more of written short stories, people showing their accomplishment and whatnot. So I think for you to determine the length of your content, you need to know where your audience are. And I'm seeing different businesses even right now jumping into TikTok rather than Instagram. So it depends with the kind of audience you're targeting and where you can find them. Thank you.
Great. I think that is amazing to hear from you, Sylvia. And we'll have more questions later in the, I think, few minutes to the end. So I think Martin, you're not lucky. I'll give you a few minutes to briefly take us through cybersecurity and some of the measures that content creators or organizations should keep in mind when doing their content, because I understand issues of phishing, phishing or malicious content is becoming a lot in today's digital world. And so it is important for us to talk about data security. So welcome, Martin from Upotech, a system developer and IT security specialist. Kindly take the platform is all yours.
Sorry, I'm the courtroom, so you'll have to bear with me with the background. So my talk is on data security, and my name is Martin Degwa. I'm a systems developer and IT security specialist from Upotech. So my presentation will be a bit We will have to maybe get some input from you here and there, so we just begin as we continue. Just a minute. So content creation, we do know that content creation is just producing material for your audience to consume. And in the field, in the IT field, that material that is being produced, we call it data. And when it's processed, we call it information. So we can just say that that material is data. So the first question that we need to ask ourselves is, do we really need to consider IT security while creating content? And I'll just answer that for you. It's a yes. And putting in mind that the content that is going out there for the content creators, for the digital marketers, for the social media marketers, the content that they usually give out there sort of can affect organization in different ways in terms of security, which we're going to see in a minute. Now, here's a case study. According to EY is a company that does survey, EY Global Information Survey. In 2021 alone, employee weakness, which you can call human error, was responsible for 20% of cyber attacks. So you can imagine for a company that is existing, for these huge companies, if you hear of a cyber attack, there's a 20% chance that cyber attack happened because of a human error, because of someone who did something that they were not supposed to do. And we can see that a simple thing like posting the birthday of a person and address of a person can wreak havoc for that person and their company. So I believe that, let me just show you something. I'll make sure we'll go back to that in a minute. Now, another case study is from the Sun newspaper, which says that 83% of people in businesses overshare online. You can imagine that. So 83% of people, for example, for the participants in this group, some of us are marketers, some of us are social media strategists and all that. 83% of us, if we check the number of the attendees in this group, we can say that 83% of us overshare online, meaning that you give out data or information that can bring issues to you or the organization that you work for. Worse still, 56% of respondents say their friends often share their current location. For example, if you go for a team outing, maybe we can say for a company like the remarketing or something, you go for a team outing, the first thing you do is just post that maybe you're in Mombasa or somewhere, and we'll see how that can affect your security in terms of information or even physical security. Now, these types of revealing posts are a gold mine for hackers, and you'll see in a few why that happens. Now, the definition of a hacker, we can say a hacker is someone who explores methods for breaching defenses and exploits, and he also exploits vulnerabilities or weaknesses in a computer system or network. Now, a hacker is, in simple terms, a hacker is one who just breaches defenses that have been put up. And also, he sees loopholes in your system or your network, and he uses them for his own gain. Maybe to get information, to get data, to get money, or for some hackers, they do it for a political cause or a social cause of what they believe. So we just continue. Now, this is the part that I was mentioning to you some moments ago that yes, I'm going to go back on that point. Now, oversharing. Now, wishing someone a happy birthday or sharing a team's current location will seem innocent enough, but fraudsters can piece together information from various places, collecting enough to defraud people. Now, we all know that for us who have accounts in Facebook, accounts in Instagram or something, they usually ask you for a security question. They ask you, maybe, what is your birthday? What is the name of your high school? And most of us usually maybe include the security question as something like a birthday. And also for us, mostly, if I ask some of us, if I ask you, what is your password? I believe maybe your password for Instagram, your password for your phone password or something. I'm sure that I can get a good percentage that whose password is either their birthday or maybe something like Martin 2021 or Dawn 2022. Some type of funny password that a hacker can just sit down and guess till maybe he goes through it. He doesn't need to even employ a lot of technology or something like that. So oversharing, for example, if you overshare your birthday and your password or your security question is your birthday, you know, hackers do have a lot of time to do what they do. It's hacker is usually a very patient person. You can take months to get access to a company's system. You can take weeks. And actually, weeks is on the lower side. They usually take months to infiltrate an organization or something. So, for example, if your company, maybe I can give an example of company A. Company A's password for their Facebook account is the social media manager's birthday. And the social media manager just sits down and posts their birthday. So today's my birthday, I'm so happy and God is so gracious and all that. So someone somewhere is watching that. And if they know, if they try to log in and they somehow just find that the password, the birth date is your password, you are doomed, to say the least. And we'll see how we can improve our passwords in the future. Now, activity. Maybe this will get us an answer from one person. Kindly, the moderator also can answer. What security threats can details such as your current location, personal info like birthdays, posts? Maybe someone can try that. What do you think? What threat do you think can details such as current location, personal info like birthdays, posts? Maybe someone. A minute. Don't you can try. And if someone is talking, Don Sylvia, maybe you can try that. What do you think? You can also see it in the aspect of physical security, not only information security. What security threat can details such as your current location and personal information like birthdays, posts? Can someone try that as we continue? And just unmute and say something.
People can know your location and rope you.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. If you share your current location, if your team is out having some activities and you share some funny details, someone can be waiting just to maybe he was waiting for you to just get out of the office and just bounce in and take something from there. So yeah, that is one example. For your birthdays, I think I've just mentioned one of the many ways that it can affect. Now, example, this is like an example. We are all guilty of oversharing information. Prove this. I believe that all of us, if not most of us, have ever received texts from institutions we never directly subscribed to. The texts I'm talking about right now are not the texts you receive from Safaricom or Airtel, or maybe your provider. I'm not talking about such texts. The texts I'm talking about are the ones that come from betting companies, loan lenders, promotions, such texts. And I do believe that we've nearly all of us get such texts. And the reason we get such texts or such prompting texts, the reason you get such messages is because somewhere down the line, you either install an application, maybe these loan applications that come from Play Store, and the loan application that you installed was not a legit one, or the application you installed was not a legit one. So what it was doing, it was collecting your details. The other thing, you can just go somewhere and when you are maybe filling just information somewhere, you just fill in all your information in forms out there, or maybe on a gate somewhere when you're trying to get into a certain organization and they told you to fill in their details, maybe they sell those things. And the last one is when you go to a website and you just fill your details without putting in mind what you are doing. You just filled in everything. Now they got your information, so they start sending you text. So that's what usually happens. So real life example, Peter, the social media manager of Commando Limited, replies on a poster. So the government social media account posts a certain maybe poster, and they say that they want to fund upcoming startups. And Peter, being a social media manager of that company called Kamwendo, so he goes there and goes to the comment section, comments, and leaves the details of his CEO, the finance manager. That is the email, the private email of the CEO, the finance manager, on the comment section. Now, after some few hours, the three receive an email from this email called funding@government.kenya with an attached document. They all download the document. Peter, the social media manager, the finance manager, and the CEO. They fill in their personal info, bank account info, then they resend the document to this email right here. Now, I want us to note the email. The email that was legit from the government was funding@government.kenya. And the other one here is funding@government with a double V.Kenya. We'll see that in a few minutes. Let me just move fast. I'm just about to get done. Now, we have to have an activity, but because of time, we just jump it. Now, some of the things, I'll just mention this, I'll not ask you because time is not on our end. Some of the things that Peter, the social media manager, did wrong. Number one, he shared the private email of their CEO, the finance manager, on the comment section. Number two, after the three received an email from this suspicious email, which has the domain name of government.v.kenya and has an attached document, they downloaded the attached document. Now, I'd like to warn each and every one of us that's in this meeting, don't you ever download any document that comes from a person that you didn't expect to send a document to you. And the easiest way to know if your document is legit, there are sites out there that can scan. There are websites that can scan your document and they'll tell you the document is legit. The other way to also know if that email is legit, you need to look at this, the domain name, the name that comes with the email. So funding@government.kenya, this is the legit one, but this one has a spelling mistake. You see a spelling mistake in a domain name, my friend, it's not that the guy who was building that domain was sleeping. Most of the times, it's usually not a legit domain. Now, I think I've mentioned the discrepancies. Now, let's see what happens. This is the last activity that I wanted us to see. Let's see what happens when you download a PDF document, a Word document that has malware. Let me just show you that. I'll put it to the end so that you can be able to see it. I hope I've shared sound. Let me see if I've shared sound. Just a minute, I'll share. So I think I'm okay with time. I'm just about done.
Yes. I think yeah, we should be. I think we should be done with everything by 11:30 latest. So you can just proceed to finalize on your presentation.
Okay. Let me just share some. Yeah. So the process from here to this point is where our hacker was attaching a malicious software to the PDF. Let's see what happens when you download it in your email.
Social engineering toolkit. So I can enter super user do. The user click, and let's go ahead and click OK on that, and let's save the file, or wherever we want to. Click yes for replacement, and let's go ahead and click open up on this. HackerLoy is the most handsome hacker. Now shifting back over to Kali Linux, you can see on social engineering toolkit. So I can enter super user do. Clicked on it. That means from HackerLoy is open up the file. That's all. That's it. So we're back to the Windows computer and we're back to the file on the email again. So go ahead and click on it. I mean, it's from HackerLoy. It should be pretty safe, isn't it? So let's go ahead and open up with our Adobe Reader. Click OK on that.
So he has downloaded the file from the email. So let's see what happens.
And let's save the file, all right, wherever we want to. Click yes for replacement, and let's go ahead and click open up on this. HackerLoy is the most handsome hacker. Now shifting back over to Kali Linux, you can see right here, Meterpreter session 1 open. What does it mean? It means that it's game over. We have full, complete control of the entire computer system. And all I got to do is I can enter sysinfo, and we can see the system information of the device. And this is pretty scary, isn't it?
So after downloading that file, the hacker can be able to see the information from the system. So when he puts in this command, which is called sysinfo, which just displays the information of the current system that you're in, he sees everything right from the operating system to the architecture of the system and everything.
We know it's a Windows 10 machine, and there are a lot more things we can do. So one of those things we can do is to do a pop-up to a specific website. So in this case, I'm going to target, all right, the website of one of the most amazing videos from this particular hacker from YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and copy, all right, the following URL. All right, so what I'm going to do now, this is an amazing video. Do check it out, right? Run the Kali Linux hacking on any phone. So you can literally install Kali Linux on your devices. And from there on, you can run all of the tutorials that we're going through in this YouTube channel. Go back into the Meterpreter session. All right, so once we're here, what I can do is I can jump over into shell by entering shell. And once you're here, all you got to do is enter start Firefox, and all you got to do now is paste the link that we have copied earlier, hit enter, and now if I jump back over into the Windows computer, you will see right here, okay, we have a new tab being opened up, and of course there's some advertisements that's running.
So what he has done right there, he has just prompted the computer of the guy that downloaded the PDF from his own computer. So from his own PC, he was able to call Firefox or command the browser from the victim computer to open and go to a certain YouTube channel. So that means that the hacker can be able to maybe access your webcam, access every detail of your computer, every application that you've installed. He can be able to get access to your files and everything, just from the simple aspect of downloading your PDF file. So I had a detailed presentation, but because of time, I think I'll have to read it there down. Maybe your name is Martin from Upotech. Thank you for your time. I'll send in the PDF. I don't know how we'll send it, but thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you so much, Martin. I think the presentation on cybersecurity matters is such a great eye-opener to any digital marketer, because this is something that is going to become a norm when you're talking about content, you're talking about reaching out to audience, and talking about harnessing the potential of any audience. Then you'll have to, any business will have to take into consideration the aspect of cybersecurity. So we're going to finish this in the next few minutes. We should be done in a few. So I'm going to invite my panel of speakers so that we can have a look through some of the questions that you have for us, so that if you still have a question, please feel free to ask in the Q&A section or the chat box, so that we can finish up. So first of all, Martin, I think we haven't had a question for you. Maybe I could shoot one before our audience can ask, but I can see someone also is asking So in the recent time, we are seeing a lot of growth. And I think to our audience, I'm sure most of us either sell or buy things online. And so there is a lot of growing concern for scammers online. And so how can business go about making their businesses stand out in terms of being standing out, not as scammers, so that people can trust and buy from them? Because looking at the trend, we know that in the next few years or in the future is e-commerce. And so everyone is going to be buying from online. And so it begs the question of how do we trust these businesses? So from your understanding, how do you think, or what do you think businesses should do so that they can stand out in terms of being different from scammers?
Okay, thank you, Don, for that question. The first maybe aspect that I can mention for you to, before I go to the business side, maybe the entrepreneurial side, the one who wants to start a business. The first aspect, when you are buying from a certain site, you need to make sure that the site itself is secure. And the only way that you can know your site is secure, the site that you're using is secure, there's usually that the domain name up there. So when a site has a padlock, there's a padlock that usually appears up there. That padlock means that it has an SSL certificate, or if not the padlock, it has a HTTPS. So if it's maybe Don, you have a site that is called Don Marketing, and you register it. When I copy the domain name, the URL from the browser tab up there, it needs to have that HTTPS. So the S there means that the site is secure. It has an SSL certificate. So when you get that SSL certificate, it means that there's no one, the hackers, it will be extremely hard for hackers to be able to access any information from that site. The information being your credit card details, maybe your invoices and all that. So it will be very, very hard for hackers to access that if you have an SSL certificate. That is for those people who want to maybe start an e-commerce shop. On the other end, for those people who want to start and also who are using e-commerce shops. On the other end, there are policies that allow you to be sort of secure. I would advise you, if you want to maybe start an e-commerce shop or something, I will identify first with an IT firm and allow them to sort of work on the shop for you. While you yourself, you know what you're expecting in terms of security. With that being, I'm not discrediting the freelancers and all that, but freelancers mostly they just want to finish the site, just give it to you. So you don't even have anyone to hold account. So I think I've answered that question. As an SSL certificate and get a credible person to work on the site.
Thank you so much. I see another. I think that answers, and if anyone has a question in regards to that, then you can also ask. I'd like us to take less than a minute to. So question here, either to Sylvia or Ezekiel, someone asking, how do I increase interaction since even with interactive posts are not doing well? What can throw this to either Sylvia or Ezekiel. How do you think businesses can increase interaction even though some interactive posts doesn't do well?
Let me answer that. I think first and foremost, you need to come up with a creative concept. If your content is not getting interaction, then it means maybe you need to change the strategy, change how you want to put out whatever information you want to put out. So make it creative, make it short, depending again with what platform you're using. And last but not least, consistency. Like Ezekiel said, this is a long-term strategy. And I hear people, especially TikTokers, say that there's always that one content that would be your breakthrough. So keep on doing it and don't lose hope, just be consistent. Thank you.
Yes, I think consistency is a key, is a mother of all when it comes to content marketing. And also it gives room for better ranking when it comes to talking about offline SEO as well. And so in line to that, someone asking, relevant content is key to helping SEO ranking. On the other hand, relevant content may not be fun, which means dullness may affect engagement. How do you balance between the two? I guess what this is from one of the audience, I guess, what they are trying to understand, he's trying to understand is that sometimes you need to have, yes, relevant content, but as well, you need to make it fun. How do you go about that? In maybe 30 seconds to either Sylvia or Ezekiel.
Let me attempt that. So what I would advise is have a mix, okay? Because you're thinking about content that will work for your SEO and you want to make it interesting. I don't think the two should be mutually exclusive. You can work on your copy, but still ensure that your content is, depending on your audience, is not only relevant, but it's attractive to your audience. So when you have that mix, and sometimes depending on what you're trying to push out, you might need the services of a copywriter because they're able to work that out in a way that it not only rank well for you, but it will also be engaging with your audience. So that is what I would say.
Thank you so much. I think that answers it all. And I think for the essence of time, I think we've gone past hours. And I guess maybe next time we'll be able to slot more time so that we can be able to, so that we can have people ask more questions. I can see we're having so many questions, but most of them have been answered either directly or indirectly. It has been captured through our panel's discussion and also through the presentation. So we're also going to be sharing with you these presentations through your emails so that you can also have take time and go through them and just have a better understanding of what you're talking about in regards to content marketing. So with that, thank you so much for attending. And I'd like to give a minute to one of to the eDigital Connect founder, Sylvia, as well, to give a vote of thanks, and then we'll close in today's webinar.
Thank you so much, Nalisi. That was an amazing presentation from all of you. My name is Sylvia Caberia. I'm the founder and CEO of eDigital Connect and Africa Business Warriors. And on behalf of our organization and our partners, our amazing partners at Upotech, please allow me to extend a hearty vote of thanks to our amazing speakers for the day and all of you for attending this webinar. I hope that we have all learned something new. Thank you so much. You can follow us on social media at eDigital Connect. Please send us a review. We would really, really love to hear from you. And for those who would like to join eDigital Connect, please find the details on our website as it is shared on the screen. And thank you so much for attending this. We are looking forward to doing more webinars. We hope to have digital once every month where we share content on digital transformation and tech. And yeah, we look forward to connecting, interacting, and learning with and from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you so much to our audience. I've been your host and moderator, Wilhard Donalisi, and looking forward to seeing you to more of our webinars. Feel free to join our WhatsApp group on your number on your screen. That is 0759 145 713. You can call for more information and you'll be directed. You can also check the website, that is edigitalconnectafrica.com. You can also send us an email at info@edigitalconnectafrica.com, and we'll be happy to have you part of us, and so that you can get to learn more when it's talking about digital marketing in the current and future of marketing. Thank you very much, and do have a lovely day. Bye bye for today.